Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
It's our culture unit for the month of August, and we're going to be talking about lucky animals. And I'm not talking about animals who are lucky, animals that can make money on the stock market really easily, or they win the lottery. No, we're talking about animals that are lucky to people. If you have these animals around, then you will be lucky.
Supposedly, a lot of people get into this kind of thing. So we're going to find out what animals are considered lucky in the East and the West. And some of these might surprise you. They surprise me. Let's get started. In many cultures, certain animals are considered good luck. Seeing these animals or possessing charms associated with them is thought to improve people's fortunes. While the animals vary by society, it seems that superstition is something most humans have in common. Let's contemplate some popular lucky animals found the world over, beginning in Asia. Crickets. These insects play a role in Chinese and Japanese cultures as a symbol of prosperity. During the Tang Dynasty, Chinese people began keeping crickets in cages so they could appreciate their pleasant sounds. Crickets also lay hundreds of eggs, representing fertility and financial success. Their songs also helped ancient farmers know when to prepare fields for the spring harvest. Cranes. In China and Japan, red-crowned cranes represent longevity because legend has it that they live 1,000 years. These elegant but endangered birds are a national treasure in Japan. According to Japanese legend, a wish will be granted to a person who folds 1,000 origami cranes. Sasaki Sadako, a young victim of the Hiroshima atom bomb, made this her final mission before she died. She wished for healing and peace. Frogs. In the Japanese language, the word frog sounds like return. So travelers frequently carry frog charms to ensure they return safely from their journeys. Across many cultures, they represent abundant wealth, friendship, health, and creativity. In Chinese legend, Liu Haichan, an immortal Taoist monk, rescued a three-legged frog from danger. In gratitude, the frog brought him a gold coin every day. It's now common to see good luck statues of a three-legged frog with a gold coin in its mouth.
Okay, let's get to it. Let's discuss the contents of today's lesson right now for you all. We're talking about lucky animals in the East and West. In Eastern civilizations and Western civilizations, they have different ideas about lucky animals. What animals are lucky and maybe which animals are not. Now, here in the first paragraph it says, in many cultures, certain animals are considered good luck. That's how we introduce the topic to you. In many countries and many cultures around the world, they have different animals which are considered good luck. Of course, lots of us have ideas about what is good luck and what is not. And, of course, a lot of times we carry things with us. We call those things a good luck charm, for example. If you have a lucky bracelet, for example, or a lucky necklace or something, those are lucky charms. I don't think you could refer to a lucky animal as a lucky charm. A lucky charm is a thing, but an animal could be considered lucky if you have a certain animal in your house. Hey, you might get really rich really fast.
Well, I think a lot of these animals we're talking about, Tom, in today's lesson aren't real. They're usually made out of some material. I have seen like jade frogs, which makes sense because they're considered to be lucky. Crickets? I haven't seen any crickets. The cranes I've seen in Japan, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. We do call them lucky charms if they're just objects, things we've purchased or bought and carry around. It says here that seeing these animals or possessing charms associated with them or linked with them is thought to improve people's fortunes. You know, a lot of people out there are superstitious. I was just thinking of baseball players who, if a pitcher wins a game, he continues to wear the same socks for the next game he pitches because he thinks it'll bring him good luck, which is kind of gross because he's just in dirty clothes all the time if he keeps winning. Well, if you possess a charm, again, it's some sort of object that's shaped to look like one of these animals. Tom mentioned charm, bracelets. Girls will wear those. Some guys have little necklaces with a charm on them. If you possess something, it just means you have that thing. You own that thing. It's in your possession. Notice possession is the noun form of the verb to possess. You possess something.
Indeed. So, of course, if you possess these charms, then it might improve your fortune. You might be lucky. You might not have accidents. You might get more money than you would normally get. And while the animals vary by society, it seems that superstition is something most humans have in common. So, of course, the animals are different in different societies.
Yeah.
And it does seem like it's a superstition, but that's something that most humans have in common. People in various parts of the world are superstitious, which means they kind of believe things that are not really based on scientific fact. I guess in America we have some superstitions. You're not supposed to step on cracks in the sidewalk. Step on the crack, break your mother's back, so you don't want to do that. Or you're not supposed to walk under a ladder, or if a black cat crosses in front of you, that's bad luck. Again, those are superstitions. They're not really based in scientific fact.
Yeah, I'm not very superstitious myself, but I know a lot of people are, and there are a lot of people who are superstitious in Taiwan. So it says here, let's contemplate some popular lucky animals found the world over. Beginning in Asia. If you contemplate something, it means you think about something pretty deeply. We'll often use contemplate to talk about something we expect to happen in the future. So we'll use it in that manner as well, to contemplate a future job or future opportunity. But when you use contemplate, it means you're really thinking quite deeply about something, whatever that might be. So we're going to be looking at some of these animals. The first one is an insect, a tiny little thing, a cricket. I love crickets because you can hear them at night. They will rub their little wings together and make that sound that reminds me of camping when I was growing up. I don't hear a lot of crickets at night here. I had crickets in my neighborhood growing up, though. What about you, Tom?
Certainly, crickets were quite common. They're cute little insects.
Yeah.
And, of course, if you live in the countryside, you're more likely to hear them. They're not so common in the city, although they are around. Maybe you need to listen carefully for them, but maybe the sound is covered up by the sounds of traffic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's talk about crickets. I think it's xi shuai in Chinese. These insects play a role in Chinese and Japanese cultures as a symbol of prosperity. So prosperity, of course, means you're getting lots of riches, lots of money, and lots of possessions and things like that. So, of course, there are lots of symbols of prosperity in Japanese and Chinese culture, especially around Chinese New Year. Of course, you see lots of symbols that mean you're going to get rich next year or something. So, yeah, gongxi fa cai, congratulations, let's all get rich.
I wanted to mention with contemplate, guys, a similar verb would be ponder. If you ponder something, ponder, you don't need a preposition. You ponder life, ponder the meaning of life. But if you use meditate, which is also a synonym, you need to use the preposition on, to meditate on something. So some people like to contemplate the vastness of the universe, or contemplate the meaning of a poem that they're studying in school. Yeah, so getting back to crickets, they are a symbol of prosperity, which is interesting. During the Tang Dynasty, Chinese people began keeping crickets in cages, so they'd actually trap them and then keep them as kind of pets, so they could appreciate their pleasant sounds. We hear enough of them typically just in nature, but they wanted those crickets where they could see them, I guess. Crickets also lay hundreds of eggs. So, of course, to the Chinese, that would represent fertility. Fertility is your ability to reproduce young. So for the human race, we would be producing other babies. For animals, they would be producing their young as well, fertility. And if someone's fertile, it just means they're very easy to have babies. Or if you say a field that you're growing some crops in is very fertile, the soil is fertile, it means your harvest is going to be very bountiful. It's going to be great. You're going to get a lot of food from those crops that you've been growing.
Yes, indeed. So, of course, fertility, as you said, represents having lots of kids, but also means you're going to grow lots of crops and things like that. I suppose in the past it was more important for people to have big families.
Sure.
Because they lived on farms and stuff like that.
Working outside, yeah.
But nowadays it seems like people don't really want to have as many kids as they used to.
Oh, but China just changed their policy.
Yeah, they need more people up there. And, of course, we need more people here in Taiwan to take care of all these old people.
Yes.
Because young couples just don't want to have kids like they used to. And so maybe crickets could be a new symbol for fertility and prosperity and stuff like that. And their songs, the songs of the crickets, also helped ancient farmers know when to prepare fields for the spring harvest. So crickets are very nice because they sing these songs. They are quite pleasant to listen to, and they are quite relaxing. And I guess in ancient China, the farmers could hear their songs and then they would know when the right time was to plant their fields and get a good harvest in the fall. Okay, let's take a little bit of a break now and listen to our Chinese teacher, but we'll be right back to talk about cranes.
大家好，我是安娜。不晓得大家平常身上会不会带一些平安符啦，或者是考试的时候特定要用哪一支笔啦，写起来比较顺之类的。我们今天跟明天的内容呢，都是要来带大家看看东方跟西方一些好运，尤其是会带来幸运的动物哦。Lucky animals in the East and West。那我们今天来看看东方的所谓的幸运动物。当然，在不同的文化当中，动物当然有一些动物就是会带来好运嘛，这个当然跟我们的这个 superstition 迷信这个东西是有一点点关系。可是大家其实都认为有一些动物真的是拥有一些让人增强运势的这样子的一个 superstition 一种魔力。好，那所以呢，我们在第一段当中呢，其实一开始就介绍了这样子的一个概念。可是我们要特别注意一下第二句哦。第二句这里说，大家都认为看到这一些动物，或者是拥有这些动物相关的护身符，就可以增强大家的运势。句子的主词其实蛮长的，这一句的动词在中间接近后面的地方有一个 be 动词的 is， 那么 is 的前面都是主词，主词其实有两个，但是用 or 来连接。第一个主词是 seeing these animals， 看见这些动物。第二个主词但是是用 or 来连接哦 ，possessing charms associated with them。 好，那么因为这两件事情其中一个只能够作为其中一个所谓的句子的主词，所以 be 动词会用单数。但是第二个主词所谓的拥有，这里带了一个简化的关系子句，要特别注意哦。先行词是 charms， 就是所谓的护身符，简化的关系子句省略的是 that are 或者是 which are， 后面的 associated with them， 这里可以左右括号。好，所以我们今天就来先看一下第一个蟋蟀 crickets。 在蟋蟀的话呢，则是中国跟日本的文化，他们会觉得是一种繁荣的象征。而且其实在唐朝的时候，中国人就开始把蟋蟀养在笼子里，欣赏蟋蟀悦耳的这种叫声。而且重点是因为蟋蟀会产下数百颗卵，所以就代表着生育能力还有经济上的成功。我们在 crickets 这一段当中特别看到第三句的地方 lay eggs， 产卵的产 lay lay eggs。 那么除此之外呢，他们的歌声也可以帮助古代的农民知道什么时候要为春季的收成准备田地。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. We're now going to continue with our lesson about lucky animals all over the world. And we just got done talking about crickets. So, okay, now we're going to talk about cranes, which is kind of a big bird. In China and Japan, red-crowned cranes represent longevity because legend has it that they live 1,000 years. So, yeah, if you want to live for a long time and not get sick and die, then maybe you should have a crane as a good luck charm.
Yeah, we say here they're red-crowned. They're not actually wearing a crown that a king or queen would wear. It just means the tops of their heads are red. So, red-crowned cranes. They represent longevity. Longevity refers to how long a person lives. If someone is blessed with longevity, they live a very, very long life. My dad's father, my grandfather, he died at 98. And his sister died at 104, 104 years old. So my dad is prepared to live a long time because he says it's in the genes. So they actually believe this legend, this story that's been passed down over the years, that these cranes live 1,000 years. I don't want to live that long, I'll be honest with you. So these are elegant but endangered birds. And they're a national treasure in Japan. So I'm not surprised, Tom, that you saw one on an airplane, that's their symbol or emblem.
Indeed, and we're describing them as being elegant, which means they have a lot of class. When they fly, they move their wings in a really pleasant way.
Graceful.
They're not crude birds like pigeons or sparrows or things like that.
Who poop on you.
These cranes are, they fly pretty smoothly in the air, and you have to stop and look at them. Oh, they're so elegant, like a graceful, beautiful woman or something like that. But unfortunately, they are endangered, which means they don't exist in the numbers that they used to. There aren't as many of them as there used to be. So I suppose there are laws in Japan to protect them. It's probably a crime if you go out and try to hunt one.
We have protected birds as well. I know the eagle is considered a national treasure in the United States. So yeah, be careful what you're shooting at if you're out there shooting at birds. So, yeah, they are considered a national treasure, and according to Japanese legend, a wish will be granted to a person who's able to fold 1,000 origami cranes. Origami is the name of that craft that they have perfected in Japan, where they just fold paper again and again at different angles and produce some amazing shapes. So if you can fold 1,000 origami cranes, you get your wish granted. So here's an example of a young victim that actually made this her wish before she died. Sadly, at the end of World War II, the United States dropped an atom bomb on Japan to get them to surrender because just more and more people were dying every day. So they just wanted to end things. And they got the attention they needed there. It killed a lot of people. Sasaki Sadako, that's the girl's name. She was a young victim of the atom bomb. And she made this her final mission before she died. She wished for healing and peace. So that was her wish for the world. That's pretty special.
Right, that of course was the first bomb dropped on Hiroshima, the atom bomb, and then the second one of course was dropped on Nagasaki, but this bomb of course is the one we're talking about, the one that was dropped on Hiroshima, and Sasaki Sadako folded, I guess, or at least she tried to fold 1,000 origamis, and we should all be inspired by her effort there.
That's a lot.
So there you go. Cranes are very sacred in China and Japan. Now let's talk about frogs. Let me see if I can do a frog imitation.
Okay,
here.
go.
Does that sound like a frog?
Kinda.
It might depend on the species.
You're better at it than I am.
Okay, well, frogs, of course, make different sounds, and they croak in different ways.
Ribbit. That's what we usually do for frogs.
Yeah, that's the word that we use to describe frogs. Perhaps that's the species that's more common in North America than here in Taiwan. Meep, 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 meep. I've heard that kind of call here in Taiwan,
yeah, me too. Yeah.
They They have different calls. But in the Japanese language, the word frog sounds like return. So travelers frequently carry frog charms to ensure they return safely from their journeys. So if Mr. Sato is coming from Tokyo to Taipei, well, he might carry a frog charm with him. I don't think he's going to carry an actual live frog. He'll never get it past customs, but he probably has maybe a frog necklace or something, or a frog charm bracelet or something like that when he comes to Taiwan. That will ensure a safe return back to Taipei, or excuse me, back to Japan after he conducts his business in Taiwan.
One of my friends a long time ago gave me a frog to take back home to the United States. I've been here in Taiwan for a couple of years, and at the time I didn't understand that frogs were a good luck charm, but that was her way of saying, you know, we hope you have a safe return to the United States. We'll miss you. So yeah, these are frog charms that a lot of people choose to carry with them as they travel. Of course, we all hope that people that have to go and travel will come home again to us safely. So across many cultures, they represent abundant wealth, friendship, health, and creativity. So wealth, everybody wants to be financially secure. Friendship, we all need friends. That's an important part of life. Health, good health is important. And creativity. If you're creative, I think it brings a lot of joy into your life. So all of these things that frogs are said to represent are pretty cool.
They indeed are cool. And of course, in Japanese, the word frog, I think, is kaeru, which sounds like the Japanese word for return, which is kaeri. They sound very similar there, so that's why that's a lucky charm. And they do that in Japan, too, and here in Taiwan and China, of course, they have all sorts of words that have double meanings, like onglai, I guess, is a pineapple, but it also means fortune is coming. You get the idea. But that doesn't have anything to do with animals there. And in Chinese legend, let's talk about frogs in Chinese culture. Liu Haichan, an immortal Taoist monk, rescued a three-legged frog from danger. So this happened back in the Tang Dynasty. This Taoist monk was immortal, and he rescued that frog. If you're immortal, that means you don't have to die. You can live forever. And Taoist means, according to the Taoist philosophy of life and of the religion, and sometimes, of course, people will say Taoist, which we know is wrong because we've studied Chinese before, but this is an old romanization system, so they spell it with a T. So expect to hear Western people say Tao or Taoism when they really mean Taoism.
Yeah, if they don't have any education in that religion or philosophy or even of the language, the Chinese language, a lot of them will say Taoist. They're trying to do their best. It was spelled weird long ago, so we just have to go with it. Immortal means you never die and you're still on the earth, right? If you're eternal, you're in heaven, but immortal, they just will never die. They're always here on earth. So he rescued this three-legged frog from danger. And in gratitude, or to say thank you, the frog brought him a gold coin every day. This is similar to some of our fairy tales, that if you do something for a lucky animal, like a goose, the goose will lay you a golden egg every day. Well, this is a frog, brought him a gold coin every day. Gratitude is just that quality of being thankful for something and showing your appreciation to somebody for doing something for you. So it's now common to see good luck statues of a three-legged frog with a gold coin in its mouth. You'll see these if you pass by some of the windows as you're shopping outside. I've seen some. They're cute.
Really, I've been in Taiwan for over 20 years and I've never seen one, so I'm going to keep my eyes peeled.
Well, there's a good shop on Fuxing. I'll have to tell you about it.
Okay, I'll check it out. It's probably pretty cool. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
那么接下来的动物呢，就是鹤了 cranes。因为其实在中国跟日本啊 ，red crown cranes 就是所谓的丹顶鹤，它象征的是 longevity 长寿诶。因为传说它们能活1000年，而且根据日本的传说啊，折1000只纸鹤的人 就可以许一个愿望会成真哦。我们特别看到鹤这一段当中，传说如何如何，在第一句里面有一个特殊的句型出现在 because 的后面。because 后面说 legend has it that， 不管你是放在 because 后面或者是句首，在英文当中，如果特别要说传说如何如何，有几个重点哦。第一，它的句型通常会用 legend has it that。第二，它的时态通常是用的是现在式 has， 流传到现在都一直说如何如何。那么第三个重点就是 that 后面要加一个完整子句哦。例如在这一句，鹤可以活1000年呢 ，They live 1,000 years。完整子句。那么同样这个句型呢，要特别注意 legend 是一个集合名词，它不可数哦，就是指传说怎样。那么你也可以把 legend 换成 rumor R-U-M-O-R， 那么意思就会换成谣传如何如何。好，那么接下来我们就看一下青蛙咯。青蛙其实在日文当中，这个词就听起来跟回来归来很像，因为青蛙的日文叫做 kaeru， 那么归来回来叫做kaeru， 所以其实听起来很像。所以日本的旅人经常都会带着青蛙的护身符，可以确保从旅途当中平安归来。不过其实在很多文化里面，青蛙都代表着丰富的财富啦、友谊、健康、创意啦。比如说在中国的传说里面，就有一个长生不老的一个这个道僧呢，它叫做刘海蟾，它长生不老 Immortal。当时在古代他把一个3条腿的青蛙从危险当中救出来，那么因为感谢这一位刘海蟾的原因青蛙每天都带一个金币给他。不过在这里呢，我们看一下最后青蛙这一段第三句出现了一个 three-legged frog， 3只腿的青蛙。这个 three-legged在英文当中是个复合形容词，复合形容词其实它的规则在英文有9种，不过我们今天先介绍一下这一种叫做形容词连字号名词 ed 的这个用法。它其实就是把2个字合成一个字，让这一个复合形容词可以直接摆在修饰的名词前面，例如3只腿的青蛙 three-legged frog。那么比较常用的类似像是心胸要开阔open-minded O-P-E-N 连字号 M-I-N-D-E-D， 或者是好心的 kind-hearted K-I-N-D 连字号 H-E-A-R-T-E-D。 好，以上呢是我们今天有关于东方的幸运动物，明天我们要来谈西方的幸运动物哦。我是安娜，我们下次见。
That's it for today, everybody, but please join us again next time when we continue to talk about lucky animals in the East and West. We look forward to seeing you again then. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.